G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aaron Whitnell, this is ACW Sport, and here are my predictions for week 34 of the Premier League season. There are also some fixtures included in this from week 31 of the Premier League season, and that's because of some FA Cup clashes that took place. So there are a number of fixtures that are being played out this weekend, which means that going into week 35 of the Prem, every team would have then played the same amount of games. So let's get started. Starting with the early kickoff this weekend, Southampton hosting Chelsea. And Southampton, they had no luck at all last week at Arsenal. It doesn't look like they're going to pick up a win, but this will be an interesting game because, of course, they do have Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final in just a couple of weeks' time. Despite that, what that could implement for the final, I just think Chelsea would be too strong. So I'm actually going to go for a 3-1 scoreline here to Chelsea. I'm going to back Charlie Austin to score for Southampton, but I'm going to back Giroud, Willian and Hazard to score for Chelsea. Then Burnley, they host Leicester, and I'm just simply going to go for a 2-1 win to Burnley in this game, just because Burnley are at home. They're pretty formidable at Turf Moor. Barnes and Wood are both on fantastic form, so I'm going to go for them to score. Vardy's also in fantastic form, so I'm going to back him to score, and that's how I see that game going. Swansea, they host Everton. Swansea, as we know, have had a phenomenal turnaround under Carver Howe. The last couple of weeks, they've dropped a few points, but I do think they'll pick up a big point here at home to Everton. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that game. I'm going to back Toussaint to score for Everton, but I'm going to back Tammy Abrahams to score for Swansea. Huddersfield, they host Watford, and Huddersfield are in dire need of a win following some disappointing results in weeks gone by. I just think the home fans will really get behind them here. Watford aren't too great on the road, so I'm going to back Huddersfield to just edge it 2-1 in that game there. Then Liverpool, they host Bournemouth at Anfield, and following their heroic victory over Manchester City and demolishing of Manchester City, for being completely honest, I can only see there being one victory here, and that is for Liverpool. I'm going to go 3-1 in this game. I'm going to back Mohamed Salah to score twice and Firmino to score as well. And then for Bournemouth, I'm going to back Callum Wilson to score for them. Then the biggest game of these rounds of fixtures sees Tottenham hosting Manchester City, who will be looking to bounce back after a disappointing week, to say the least, having been beaten by Manchester United and beaten by Liverpool in the Champions League. But even though City will be looking to bounce back, I think Tottenham are going to edge them here. I'm going to back 2-1 Tottenham. I think Dele Alli and Harry Kane will score for Spurs, but I think Sergio Aguero will score for Manchester City. But yeah, I think Tottenham will get all 3 points here. Then Newcastle, they host Arsenal on Sunday. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw at St James's Park, just because, as we know, Arsenal were rubbish on the road, and Newcastle in recent weeks have been revitalised, picking up some massive victories. So yeah, I just see both teams managing to get a point out of this game, so I'm going to go 2-2 there. Manchester United, they then host West Brom at Old Trafford on Sunday. I just see this game being a bit of a formality. I'm going to go 4-0 to Manchester United. I'm going to back Romelu Lukaku to score twice. I'm going to back Alexis Sanchez and Paul Pogba to also get on the score sheet for United at Old Trafford. Then finally, West Ham United, they host Stoke at the London Stadium, and I just think this is going to be a massive night for West Ham. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory. I'm going to back Javier Hernandez to score twice and Arnautovic to also get on the score sheet for West Ham in that game. Then to the games that kind of help make up for teams that have games in hand. So first of all, we have Brighton hosting Spurs, and again, I'm just going to go for Tottenham to edge this because Brighton are very good at home. I think they'll give Tottenham a real good go, but in the end, I think Tottenham will have too much class. I'm going to go for Eriksen and Kane to score in that game there for Tottenham, and for them to get all 3 points in a 2-1 win. Then Bournemouth, they host Manchester United. Even though Bournemouth have been pretty good at home, I just think United will have too much for them, so I'm going to go 3-1 to United in that game. I'm going to back Josh King to score for Bournemouth. I'm going to back Lukaku. I'm going to back Mata, and I'm also going to back Rashford to score for United in that game. Then Burnley, they host Chelsea in what will be a very interesting game because Chelsea haven't had a good 2018 so far. I think Burnley could make that worse. I'm going to back Burnley to win 2-1. I am going to back, I'm going to back Aaron Lennon to score, and I'm also going to back Chris Wood to score as well. And then for Chelsea, I'm going to back Morata to score for them. Then Leicester, they host Southampton. I think Leicester will just edge this. I think Southampton will give it a good old go. But overall, I think Leicester will come out 2-1 winners in that game. I'm going to back Iheanacho and Vardy to score for Leicester. Charlie Austin to score for Southampton as long as he's fit. Then West Brom, they host Liverpool at the Hawthorns, and I can only see this, again, kind of like the United game, being a bit of a formality. I'm going to go 3-0 to Liverpool. I'm going to back Mane to score twice, and I'm going to back Salah to score as well there. Then Watford, they host Crystal Palace in what will be a very intriguing game. Both teams fairly even for me. Watford have been a bit iffy this season, to say the least. Particularly at home, you're never quite sure what performance you're going to get. but I think Palace will really go for it. I'm going to back both teams to come up with a point each. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that game there. Then Arsenal, they host West Ham at the Emirates, and even though I think West Ham will give it a good old go, I just think Arsenal will have a bit too much for them. So I'm going to go 2-1 in that game. I'm going to back Arnautovic to score for West Ham just because he's been in such good form. But I do think Aubameyang will score twice to give Arsenal all 3 points. Then Manchester City, they host Swansea at the Etihad, and this will be where I think City will return to winning ways. I'm going to go for a 3-0 scoreline there. I'm going to back Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, and also Gabriel Jesus to score for Manchester City in that game. Burnley, they then travel to Stoke in a game that I see Burnley winning 1-0. I'm going to go for Ashley Barnes to get the winner in that game there. And then finally, Everton, they host Newcastle at Goodison Park in a game that, again, for Everton's sake, will be a draw. I just think that they're not doing enough to win games for me, Everton, and I think the teams they're playing are really fighting for survival, so that's why I think these teams could get points off of them. So again, I'm going to back Toussaint to score for them. I'm going to back Matt Ritchie to score for Newcastle. And that is how I see all of coming week's fixtures, lots of Premier League fixtures, going. So, do you agree with my predictions? Please comment below, let me know. As always, I'm Aaron Whitnell, and I will be back with 2 reaction videos over the next week to the various different Premier League games that are played out. So, comment below, let me know what your predictions are, and I will see you guys again soon.